Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm happy you're here today. We're taking things into the kitchen. It's time to reset and refresh since Christmas has come down. This kitchen has been pretty bare for a while now, so I'm really ready to bring in some neutral pieces and just some things that are going to warm up my kitchen. A lot of you guys know from previous videos that I have a very white kitchen, so I really love to bring in wood tones and marble and just things that kind of will cozy up the space a little bit. And in my previous video, I had mentioned that because we don't get very cold here in Florida, I'm not doing winter decorating with greens and cedar and pine. I know a lot of people really like that, and I do too. It just doesn't really work for me because our weather has been glorious. Now, February tends to be very cold here. Well, I mean, cold for us, but you know, we don't get snow or anything. But I mean, today our weather has been in the upper 60s. Last few days we had some rain, but leading up to that, it was like the mid 70s, no humidity. It's perfect. So the idea of using that heavy Christmas winter green style really doesn't appeal to me anymore. Once Christmas is done, I'm kind of done with it. So that is why you see a little bit of a different take here on my channel when it comes to winter decorating. Let's get started because we've got a lot to do today and I'm excited to see how it turns out. So we're gonna start with this beautiful marble tray. This is actually from the spring line at Hearth and Hand, and I love the little wooden feet. I love that it gives it just a little bit of a rise. That's going to help me to hide this cord back here that I hate cords. You guys, I hate cords so much. So having this little tray here is going to be a nice way to hide that cord, but also the warm color of this marble is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not sure if that is showing up on camera, but because my kitchen is so white, I love the idea of using this sort of taupey brown marble as a way to break things up and sort of warm things up. So I'm going to place this here next to the coffee pot. We're also going to bring in this really adorable hobnail salt and pepper set. I thrifted these, so I'm not exactly sure where they originated from, but I love the warm wood and I love hobnail. I'm a sucker for hobnail. I think it's going to look really cute here on this marble tray. So you guys, I picked this up from the Hearth and Hand spring line also. This one I was really excited because I had watched Brenda, I think her name is Brenda on Cozyaholic, and she was going through this Target spring line. And I always love to see what other people think is good, and oftentimes I'll agree with them. If I don't agree with them, I'm not gonna go run out and buy it if I don't like it. But when I saw her show this, and it was just online, you know, she wasn't in store actually holding the piece. But when I saw her show this, I was like, oh, I have to have that. That's so cute. But to be honest with you, I had it delivered, and when it arrived, I was a little bit disappointed because of the size of it. I thought it was at least, you know, this big, but nope, it's this little teeny tiny tray, which, I mean, it's really cute, but you know, I maybe would not have bought it if I knew it was this little. It's great for storing rings if you take your rings off when you do dishes, but I don't usually do that. I keep my rings on. So for me, I'm gonna use this here on this marble tray because I'm going to use it as a little spoon rest so that I don't get coffee drops everywhere. So in this area, I'm going to bring in this thrifted wooden cutting board. I actually have used this in this space very often. I love that it's got like this beautiful patina on it, and it's got imperfections, and it looks old, but it's not really dark wood. And so it helps me to warm up the space without weighing it down. And that's important to me in the winter season. I don't want things to look too heavy in the kitchen. So I'm gonna use this as sort of like a backdrop. And then in front of it, I'm going to place my Magnolia table cookbook. I love this book, not only because it's got amazing recipes in it, but you guys, the cover is gorgeous, and green is going to be a trending color for 2024, and I am here for it. This is actually my favorite color. It's always been a favorite of mine, and so I am definitely excited to try to incorporate more green this year and bring in some of those earthy, moody tones. So I think this will look really pretty in front of that wood cutting board.
Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden.
So we have that side of the kitchen done, and I'm really loving the way it looks. It's light and fresh, and it feels really good to start the new year off like this in my kitchen. Now we're gonna work over here on this side of the stove, and we're gonna try to mimic a similar look without being exactly the same. That way we can bring in some of those warm woods and a little bit of color and also some florals.
For miles in spring, rainbow trout and a hummingbird.
So I love this so far, but because I want to try to bring in some florals, I want to also tie in a little bit of the black accents that I have going on in the other parts of the house. I have an open floor plan, so it's always nice to tie in when you can, if you have an open floor plan, so that everything has a cohesive look, because remember, when you repeat elements, it makes it look more thoughtful and more intentional. And so I'm going to bring in these. So this is just a black stoneware pitcher. I picked this up on Amazon, and I will link anything I can below if you're interested. I love this pitcher, and I love the idea of having a black accent here in the kitchen. And then these baby's breath, I've actually used throughout the house. Last week I did my living and dining area, and so I used a bunch of these in that other section of the house, and so I want to tie in. By the way, if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check the description box below when you're done watching this one, because I will have it linked. But also, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because I don't want you to miss out on any of the fun decorating that we've got coming your way.
Walk up the river by my son. Feet step.
So we're over here in my makeshift microwave area. We're keeping this white microwave here until we figure out whether or not we want to get another microwave for above the stove, because on Christmas Day ours died. It's still up there, so it's totally just for aesthetics at the moment, because we're not sure what we want to do. I've seen some really beautiful range hood options, so I'm not exactly sure if I want to go with a microwave or if I want to put something more decorative and keep this here. This is going to be a little bit more of a winter look. I've got a winter landscape that I want to put in the center on the top shelf. So let's get started and see what we come up with.
Gold string, gold words, gold anything, golden. I follow only golden, golden, golden things, golden. I follow only golden.
So if you've been following along on Instagram, then you already know that I thrifted these absolutely gorgeous copper canisters for such a great price. The larger one was $4.98, and then the other two were just slightly cheaper than that. And I love this hammer detail, and I think this brings in a lot of cozy warmth for the winter season. So I'm gonna work these in here on the middle shelf, but I wanna add in a little bit of these same greenery pieces to tie in with some of the greenery that I have going on the opposite side of the kitchen, as well as the greenery that we just placed on the top shelf.
You could call it a vision or a tether.
Now, typically I keep my china hutch the same. I mean, unless it's Halloween or something crazy where I'm really going all out. But for the most part, I like to have some staple pieces that are very consistent throughout the year that I can use here in the hutch. Now, this is a really beautiful ironstone pitcher that I received as a wedding gift many, many years ago from my aunt, and I love it. It's beautiful. It is ironstone. I absolutely love it. And it came with that vessel for like a dry sink, but I typically just love to use the pitcher, and so I usually keep this on the top shelf.
With you I am blessed. All I want's in a dream. We are together.
One more little pottery piece, and in this pottery piece I've got some more of that same neutral baby's breath, and again, this is just helping me to tie in all of the colors and textures throughout the house for a cohesive look.
See it put back together. You could call it a vision or all I want's in a dream. We are together. You could call it a vision or a tether. All at once I can see it put back together. You could call it a vision. You could call it a vision. You could call it a vision.
I almost forgot the finishing touch.